You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Hello and welcome to your midweek Loose Women. Keeping you company this lunchtime alongside me, Christine Lampard. It's Colleen Nolan, Janet Street-Porter and Denise Welsh. Coming up, with the majority of babies now being born out of wedlock, is marriage before kids an outdated notion? And we'll also be revealing the celebrity who called Colleen a disgrace for doing just that. Also on the show, would you date a man with a small dog? Women apparently feel safer if a man has a pint-sized pooch. And at 1:15, Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick will be here with her wife Kate and their little boy Teddy. They'll be exclusively revealing the gender of their soon-to-be-born baby. Now, Britain could be facing power cuts and blackouts this winter as a worst-case scenario, with the government said to be planning for a shortfall of electricity. This all comes as energy bills are forecast to hit more than £4,200 in January. That's more than double what they are today. It's all incredibly grim. Janet, you remember this in the 70s, where there was a blackout for several days of the week. What are your memories on that? And do you feel like we should all be worried at this point? We're certainly all being geared up to be.
I don't think we should be too worried. When this morning we started talking about blackouts and the producer turned to me and went, well, Janet, you tell us about them. I thought, hello, that was 50 years ago. And, you know, I might have been on Mastermind, but I can't remember every single thing that happened. So I turned back to my memoir and I found out what I was actually doing in 1972 when the blackouts were first happened. Now, that back then, that was because of the miners' strike. The National Miners' Union went out on strike and picketed power stations. And from 1972, there were power shortages and blackouts. At that time, the first time it happened, I was a fashion journalist on the Evening Standard. I thought, power blackout. So I went and bought a generator because the power was turned off and television stations turned off at 10:30 at night. Shops were only allowed to operate with reduced power and so on. And I remember when the blackouts came, I had to decide, am I going to have a one-bar fire on in my flat in Chelsea or dry my hair? I remember, you know, stocking up on loads of candles. But out of the blackouts came the miners' strike went on, and then we went into the 3-day week in 1973. Well, by then, I was launching a radio station, LBC. So we...
How old were you then? About 10?
No. But then I was a bit more used to deprivation. But looking back at what happened during the 3-day working week was that, as per usual, the first thing that shops ran out of was, hold the front page, toilet rolls.
What is it about that?
What is it about toilet rolls? You're faced with a national emergency and you run out and buy something to wipe your bum with. I can't, sorry if I've said that word in daytime television.
I think we're fine.
You can see bum.
Is bum on the list? Yeah. Okay, that's fine then. But the reason why we might have a power shortage at the moment is because a small percentage of our energy comes from Russia. And we're obviously, the government, with the war continuing in Ukraine, is worried about whether we'll suffer a shortfall in energy. So at the moment, even though neither of the Tory candidates seem to want to take on the challenge of telling people how they're going to cope with energy prices rising to a record high and how they're going to cope with the possibility of power cuts, I think it is a real issue. But the government is secretly planning a strategy. They don't seem to want to be very public about it. But in other countries, they've been quite open about it. In Japan, people have already been told, turn off your lights and air conditioning unless it's absolutely necessary. In Germany, they've told housing associations, reduce the amount of hot water you use, and the whole German population's been ordered to take shorter showers. Swimming pools have turned off their heating. And in Australia, they've already told people try not to all use electricity between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night. That's the kind of thing that I think will happen here. So honestly, there's no need to panic if we just are sensible about it. And I do think if the reasons are explained to people properly about why energy might be reduced at certain times of the day, people will accept it.
But I think that's it. I mean, I was obviously 15 then, and I don't remember it at all. But it's interesting hearing you because you're so informed on it, because we are living in a world that is just one disaster after another, it seems, and the fear-mongering is out there, because back in 1973 we didn't have rolling news, breaking news, we didn't have social media. At the moment we are experiencing a massive mental health fallout because of the terror. You and I said this morning, you watch breakfast television, you're in quite a good mood, you come in here and you're absolutely
I was in such a bad mood by the time I got to work.
Because you think you're a pensioner living alone, or you're someone with a young family, and all you're told about is blackouts, be scared, be scared. People don't understand them. It sounds as if we may all be plunged into darkness within our own home. You know, I mean...
But hang on a minute. Back in 1973, when I went to work, let's be perfectly clear, there was a climate of fear because the IRA were detonating bombs in central London, and they had a campaign specifically against the media, and letter bombs were posted to journalists, and all our posts had to go through scanning machines. So don't think back then there wasn't a kind of quite an attitude of fear.
There wasn't every single time you pick up your phone, you turn the television on, you pick up a paper. It's one thing. It was COVID, then it was the war. I'm not saying that anybody's to blame for this, but now it's the blackout. Now there's another thing called shrew flu. It's coming from China. It's like, please, World War II morale was about keeping morale up.
All right, keep your morale up by having a shorter shower. I never even knew people could stand in a shower for 10 minutes. Surely they turn into shriveled prunes.
That was what slightly annoyed me the other week, where it was in sort of the south of England talking about hosepipe bans and, you know, the rivers running dry, which is all obviously happening. But I was up outside Liverpool. It was biblical amounts of rain.
Yeah. And has been for months.
And has been. And I know back in Northern Ireland, this is the first week of sun they've had all summer.
Well, they don't understand the heat wave warnings in Northern Ireland, do they? Because they just think we've had no sun.
Absolutely. So it's very difficult. And like you say, if you're being bombarded with news all the time, but you sit at home thinking, I can't do anything about it.
Right, Colleen, put a smile on your face.
I can't after that conversation. I blacked out. I've been in a blackout for the last 5 minutes.
It's a survival mechanism, isn't it?
I'm so bored of it all.
This is the thing, though, isn't it? That's then the level you get to, and you think, but
nothing I can do about it.
Exactly, it's very, very difficult, isn't it? Will we try and cheer everybody up?
Yes, please.
Will we talk about the word evolving?
I never thought I'd be the smiley one.
We need to evolve into happy people.
I'll be fine.
Strange times, folks. Well, this might cheer you up. I don't know. It'll get you talking at least. In a new article for Vogue, Serena Williams has announced that she's evolving away from tennis. The 23-time Grand Slam champion said she's moving towards other things that are important to her. So is Serena right? Are we in need of evolving? And evolving, this is her choice of word, isn't it? And a lot of big celebs come up with unusual turns of phrases, don't they? Evolving doesn't offend me, to be fair. No. I think that's
not as much as conscious uncoupling.
Yes, which of course was Gwyneth Paltrow, and then entanglement was Jada Pinkett Smith, about
like a film.
Very complicated relationships in her life. So there's all these various terms given to their stages in their lives. Evolving, I think, is fairly okay.
They're a bit more special than us, isn't it?
Yeah,
evolving.
They're evolving.
Well, she sounds like a new car.
Well, I think evolving. Well, it's probably the right
Is it
word.
like
It's evolving away to something else, away from tennis.
And maybe more of a family life.
Are you evolving? Do you think you're evolving?
I like to think I'm evolving all of the time. I'm very happy to evolve. Go on. Change is good.
Does evolving mean you have to be more adaptable, though?
Well, I think it just...
Does it mean her? You know how people talk about reinventing themselves sometimes as well? When is that the same? I mean, I feel like I'm evolving into Victor Meldrew at the minute because I seem to moan about a lot of things. But I think,
surely not.
Well, shut up, you do.
No, I was about to say I'm evolving backwards. Never mind.
What do you mean
evolving
backwards?
to apply you.
But
have
you're
to-
getting naughtier and more childlike.
Yeah, I am just going to go back to being 14 and not giving a what's it.
You've never given a what's it, whatever
No, you've
age you
never
are.
cared, really. You've never cared about like what people
people
think.
think.
No, I
like,
care about you lot.
Yeah,
but
I can't
do I
wait, but I
care
mean, you don't
about
care.
people in general?
Are
No.
you evolving into being excited about our audience coming back?
That was so unfair of Denise to do that live on it. Oh, yeah, for anyone watching, I am thrilled the audience is coming back. Absolutely thrilled. No,
Oh, she's evolving into being a good liar, isn't she?
No, but I see what Serena Williams is saying is that she's 41 and she wants to have another child and she can't have a second child at that age and devote enough time and energy to bringing up that child and play top-level tennis. But that is her choice.
Yeah.
But she then goes on to say, a man doesn't have to do that. Well, some men do that.
Yeah, and also, I think you all through your life you evolve, don't you?
Yeah.
Each,
And certain situations make you have to.
exactly.
You know, the second you have
Exactly.
children, you have to evolve into a different
and
type
then
of person.
also then you get to your children. Like my children are all grown up now, and so then you evolve into a different person. Like I'm learning to think about me more and not care
You're
so
going
much.
off to your log cabin for
I
your
am.
solitude few days. Your mini break of
Oh my God, I
Colleen
can't.
and a book.
I can't wait. But yeah, I'm evolving to a forest. I may not come back. No, but I think it is that. I think you evolve all the way through your life. And I think somebody who, certainly in sport as well, because it is kind of a short-lived thing,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
isn't it? You can
But
only
very
play
intense,
up
isn't
to a
it?
certain
She's
age
done well
at
to
that
play to
level.
41. Let's be fair, because
Yeah.
a lot of top players retire in their late 20s, early 30s, and it's very unusual, particularly in tennis. I could drone on like this about like I do about my
Oh, please do.
tomatoes.
Oh,
But
please.
no, we're going through an unusual period in the tennis. Male tennis players are playing at top level for much
longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's true, they've got very supportive wives who bring up the kids and follow them round
Yeah.
and are totally supportive. But at the end of the day, Serena, love, you have done really well.
She's done incredibly well.
Really
And
do
to
well.
evolve away from tennis.
Absolutely,
You know,
and
it means you can...
we've got to keep moving forward. And I think because women, there's a lot of women who always say, especially when their kids leave home, oh, I've made my bed, I've got to lie in it. You don't have to lie in it.
No, exactly.
If you're not happy, you have much more potential. Some people do to be able to move on. And I mean,
Although we are
I'm loving
evolving
this stage
backwards
of
now
my
into
life.
blackouts.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well,
Oh yeah, well,
oh my goodness.
We're evolving
yeah.
back to the 70s.
No,
yeah, well, I've
anyway.
had enough blackouts in my life. I don't need any more. Thank you very much.
On that note,
On that note,
we've got lots more still to come. Michelle Hardwick will be here with her wife Kate to talk Emmerdale's upcoming 50th anniversary, and they've got some very exclusive pregnancy news. And for the first time on record, the majority of babies were born out of wedlock last year. But is it still important to be married before having children? Colleen will reveal which game show legend branded her a disgrace for having Shane Jr. out of wedlock. Disgrace she was. Coming up after the break. Welcome back to Loose Women. Still to come with the majority of babies now born out of wedlock. We're debating if it's still important to be married before having children. And at 1:15, Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick will be here with her wife Kate and their little boy Teddy. And they'll be revealing all about their dream wedding in Graceland, Memphis. Competition time once again, and your chance to win a prize package worth over £114,000. Here's Michelle Ackerley with all the details.
Woo! A warm welcome to Whitby on the Yorkshire coast. A gorgeous location for a fabulous prize, which could make this summer your best one yet.
This week, you have another chance to win £60,000, but you need to get those entries in quick, as this is the final week to see the details. The lines are closing this Friday at 3 p.m. There's also a brand new Mercedes EQB up for grabs.
It comes in a metallic mountain grey colour, it's automatic, and it looks just as good on the inside too, with all the mod cons you'd expect, such as cameras to help you park and air conditioning for those hot summer days. And is worth over £54,000. So whether you prefer days out at the seaside, Or if you prefer to be at one with nature in the countryside, you can go wherever you fancy in your new car. So if you win this prize, you'll get a brand new set of wheels as well as £60,000 in totally tax-free cash. This prize is guaranteed to be won by one lucky viewer. So here's how to enter.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 1119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY27, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 12th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, more babies were born outside of marriage in England and Wales last year than to wedded couples for the first time on record, official figures show. But is it still important to be married before children? Colleen, what do you make of this?
Well, no,
It's not a huge surprise. I don't
it's
think.
not a huge surprise at all. Like when they read that out, I kind of went, yeah. You know, and if my own kids decided to have kids before they got married or whatever, I'd be absolutely fine with it. You know, I don't think it's a big deal now, unless you're extremely religious.
Yeah,
Unless,
exactly.
you know, if you're religious, then it's a big deal. But when I got pregnant with Shane Jr., and I was 23 and I was in this girl band that people didn't even think would talk to boys, let alone sleep with them. You know what I mean? We were so sickly sweet. Well, our image was, but obviously we were.
There's another
Quite
story.
obvious. Yeah, that'll be in the next book. Anyway, but I remember when I got pregnant, and obviously I was really scared of telling my mum and dad because I was kind of the first one outside of marriage to say, I'm pregnant, and I knew I wanted to keep it, and Shane wanted to keep it and everything. Anyway, my mum and dad were fine about it. And it was all cool, and it was like, oh, I'm so thrilled that mum. And my mum was religious, but she was like, I'm if you're happy, I'm happy. And then this newspaper article came out, like a double-page spread with, wait for it, no one will know who this is if they're under 70, is with Jim Bowen.
Bullseye.
Jim Bowen?
He was very big at the time because Bullseye was massive around about that time.
Super smashing great.
Super smashing great. Came out saying that I was a bit of a disgrace and that I was a terrible example to girls of my age.
What did it have to do with Jim Bowen?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. He definitely wasn't the father. But, I mean, he just... Maybe that's what he's worried about. I don't know. But, yeah, it was quite... I went, Jim Bowen, like, why does he care?
Wasn't that really hurtful?
Yeah, it was a bit, because then you think, oh, does everyone think that? But equally, I think it was kind of that start of that era where people were doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a big deal to me at that point.
I'm guessing he wouldn't have done the article unless he thought there was an audience that were slightly in his camp.
I think what he was trying to say was this, sister girl group that have come along who are all sweet and innocent, but that wasn't our doing. That's how the press portrayed us. And now I've let people down by going, oh, she's had sex outside of marriage. It's like, well...
I mean, does it mean that marriage is becoming less important? Because I guess if you're not bothered about getting married to have a baby, are we bothered about getting married at all? It's still important to me. I mean, we've had about 20 between us, haven't we, married?
I know, but I think that at the moment, the people who are having babies are the birth rate's going up in the older women, the women around 40, and the people who are still getting married, the number of people getting married has gone down, but they're also getting older too.
But also now, it's also common now to have, to have babies when you're not married or not even met anyone.
Yeah.
You can go and have babies now, and women are getting to that 41, 42 age of thinking, well, I haven't met anyone, but I still want a baby, I'm going to have it on my own.
It was important. I mean, I got pregnant before I was married with Matty. So I got married when I think I was about 20 weeks pregnant. Part of it was I thought, I do want to get married, but will I be bothered after I've had the baby? But there was no pressure on me at all, no parental pressure, nothing but I did want to. The interesting thing is that when my sister and I, there used to be this ashtray in our house, which was an old threepenny bit in a brass ashtray. And it was 1957, and my mum always used to tell us that was her first wedding anniversary. It's what we grew up. We never gave it any thought. When I was 15, Debbie was 12, we found the old box, and in it showed that Mum had been pregnant before she was married. We didn't mind at all. So I mentioned it to Dad just to let him know. And Dad, because it was a very liberal household. There were boundaries, but they were very sort of, liberal, I suppose. And my dad said, look, for some reason, your mum does not want you to know. Please, would you never mention it? So we never did. But my mum used to sit going, Joyce's parents were pregnant when she got married and all this. She used to sit doing that. And Debbie and I used to think, oh my God.
It's like she just had to delete it from her
She just
history.
had to delete it from her history.
Yeah.
I think that the level of hypocrisy at that time was incredible, because I grew up not knowing where the wedding photos were. There weren't any wedding photos in our house. And I just assumed my mum and dad were married. And then I went to a church school, and the whole idea, the primary school, I went to Sunday school, you didn't have babies.
So you just assumed they were married?
I assumed they were married, and also I was brought up to say, don't have babies outside marriage. And in my teens, I mean, it's been well documented, I've written about it, I had 2 abortions, I terminated 2 pregnancies, which were my own stupidity, by the time I was 18 or 19. And because I was terrified of what my mother would have said. Now, flash forward to when I'm in my 40s and my sister discovers that my mother and my father were married to other people when they had me, and my sister. So we were both born out of wedlock.
Wow.
And my mum and dad went off and eventually did get divorced and went off and got married secretly without bothering to include me, my mum.
But unlike my mum, they
sister.
used to say it was terrible to be pregnant before marriage.
Yeah,
didn't they?
my mother said that. And
So you grew up with this huge weight on your shoulders.
Wow.
Well,
but
I
actually
just
your
think
mum
a
she had
huge
done it all.
a huge amount of hypocrisy and secrecy. Amazing.
Yeah, but it just goes to show what the parent impact is
Yeah.
for a lot of people
Yeah,
too, though. That
definitely.
can very much sort of
Influence.
influence absolutely everything, how you feel and how you think you have to live your life. So it can be very difficult for lots of people. But, speaking of babies, still to come, Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick, who is expecting with her wife Kate, will be here with an exclusive gender reveal. And it's the question every woman has to ask herself at some point: would you date a man with a small dog?
I love that.
Don't go anywhere. We've got all of that coming up after this.
How a young heart really feels.
It's been over 2 long years, but we've missed you and we want to see your faces right here. That's right, we are bringing our live studio audience back.
Hello, audience.
We've got big guests and all your favourite panellists. All we need is you. Go to itv.com/loosewomen to apply for free tickets for September and beyond.
Hello and welcome back to your Wednesday Loose Women. Alongside me, Christine Lampard, it's Colleen Nolan, Janet Street Porter and Denise Welsh. Still to come, Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick with her wife Kate will be joining us live to talk 50 years of Emmerdale and some very exciting baby news. Now, Country Files' Helen Skelton has reportedly signed up to Strictly Come Dancing. We're waiting for the big announcement. It's all following her shock marriage split earlier this year. And according to a source, Helen is hoping to be struck by the Strictly curse to give her some confidence back. So is that the trick to finding love? Do you just have to declare it, Denise? Do you just put it out there to the universe and let it happen?
I think you've got to push yourself forward. I was never backward in coming forward.
Really?
No, amazing.
That's
That'll
shocking,
surprise
isn't
you,
it? Shocking
Christine.
news.
Yeah, but I always think that it's important to make it known. If you're a shy, retiring wallflower, it's never gonna happen. I do understand that my dating days, a long time ago, are very different to these days. I used to have fueled by the odd drop of alcohol here and there as well, which would be very different. You're not going to go and hang out in bars completely sober. But for example, we were out last night with Lincoln's best mate, who's an actor and who is putting himself back onto the scene again. And we were sat watching this band play. There was only a few of us there. It was not very far from here. Anyway, he quite fancied the girl singer. And he kept going, do you think she's looking at me? I said, no, she hasn't remotely noticed you at all, but never mind. and I was on my 18th coffee that he did because he didn't want me to leave. Anyway, after the first set, she sat down in the corner and I said, the old-fashioned way, because he's not on social media, the old-fashioned way, write your number on a beer mat and take it over to her. And I pretty much forced him to do it. Now, I don't know what the outcome is of it, but he started with a negative. He went over to her and he said, I know you won't ring me, but I'm just leaving that anyway. So I said, well done for doing it.
Yeah.
But next time, don't start with a negative. You have to sort of go in with a, I'd love you to give me a call. Be great to hear from you. Ball's in your court and walk away. You know? Millionaire Matchmaker, my favourite
And he'd
show.
walk away and I'd go, weirdo.
Patty Stanger, Millionaire Matchmaker Patty. What she does is, Patty Stanger, what she does is she gets the person that has booked her and she says, who would be your celebrity one night stand? Your ultimate hall pass. From that, she can tell the sort of type that you like.
Who you fancy.
Yes, The Rock. And and she gets a sort of type from that, just in case he's watching.
I haven't got a type.
What?
Well, I've got to pick some.
No, but
pick
who
some
would be
mixed
your
buffet.
ultimate? Who would be your ultimate one night stand if you could have anyone in the world?
Someone
just for
with
a night.
pulse.
No, there was. Anyway, she then does a mixer, so she gets all sort of people who are also looking for love, and you do a mixer, and you get together like that, and you know, I mean, that is if you're particularly looking for a millionaire. Obviously.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's very
But
specific.
It's very specific.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not easy. And I think maybe as we get a bit older, we get a bit more comfortable, and it's hard to put yourself out there. As you say, going to a bar, which is what you sort of did back in the day. People don't do that.
No, they don't
believe
really.
that Helen Skelton has said this, that she's looking for love on a TV show.
No, she's talking about the Strictly curse.
Yeah.
And good on her. If I ever get Strictly and that curse doesn't hit me, I'm voting myself off.
I just think
that's just not fair. I would definitely be there going, curse me now.
Why do you think that's a bad thing, Janet?
It just makes me anxious for her that she's revealed too much. She sounds too needy. It's just like...
Well, she's just saying that she's looking
just
for love
saying
and
that,
build
to
up
be
herself.
fair, she's not
But if
quite
I
saying
was
it.
looking
I
for
think a
love,
friend stroke source
No,
is
it's
saying
that
it.
source that follows us all around.
Doesn't it, Jo?
Oh,
Yeah.
that
But I think
source
Helen's
loves it.
obviously been
last
through a
place
tough time.
I
She would deserve it.
Oh, but the last place I'd look for love would be on a TV show. Really?
But it happens.
It
Yeah,
does
it does
happen. It's
happen.
happened a lot,
It
actually, on
happens.
Strictly.
It's happened on Love Island. It's
Yeah.
happened all over the
And
place.
Dancing on Ice,
Dancing
it's
on
all
Ice.
loads
I
of
mean,
them.
it actually does happen with really quite long relationships.
Some are married, babies, all of that.
Yeah.
Well, if
exactly.
you're working that closely with people, really up close and personal for, you know, sometimes 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
sparks may fly.
Exactly.
would.
It's when you think about dating apps now as well, which of course loads of
Dating
people
apps are
do
great.
it, and they can be great, and they work. I have some very good friends who are now married because of them, so they 100%
Or like me,
work.
meet
But
the love
again,
of your life at 6 o'clock in the morning in a nightclub that doesn't open till 4. Still together 10 years later. Top
well, you were
tips by
clearly
Dempsey.
like-minded souls.
That's the kind of right place, right time. Isn't
It
that?
was,
That
absolutely.
always goes on as well.
But even
doesn't
just
it?
going on the dating app is putting yourself out there,
is.
isn't it? It's
I
a
think you
form
have to
of
now.
And I think you've got to be brave enough
Yeah.
to do that, because you just don't meet people at work anymore.
No, I
really, do you?
No,
No?
no, I don't.
Janet's like, no.
But the whole
She's trying to
subject's
still
making me anxious.
It is making you anxious. You're still trying to think about your one night, aren't you?
Yeah.
Who do you fancy the most off the telly, Janet?
Who do I
Or
fancy?
rock star,
you've
or
seen a few
someone that
people
you must go.
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would definitely.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that bloke in Shetland.
That's it.
Not the lead man.
No,
the
yes.
sad side. It's his brother.
Who's that?
Is that?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
an actor.
I'm
But
gonna
I've looked him up. He's happily married. Don't
Oh,
think
right.
I haven't Googled
You see,
him.
another thing, do your research.
Yeah,
It's a very
that's true.
important aspect of dating as well. Sticking with dating, and apparently size matters, Leo.
Oh.
The size of your man's pup, that is.
Man's what?
Pup. New research suggests that women prefer men who have a pint-sized dog, as it makes them feel safer and calmer and more in control. So do you like your boys with small pups?
Boys.
Well, it's just,
No, I
Worked
can
with the
see.
alliteration
Do you know what
better.
it is? I can see the point, because you go, first of all, you go, oh my God, look how
What a
cute
lovely
that
little
dog
doggy.
is, which makes you then look at the dog and go, oh, and he's not embarrassed to be walking that
Yes.
stupid little dog with a pink lead and a bow. Do you know what I mean? It kind of makes me think, oh, he's okay.
There's a caring
with
side.
everything. Whereas if I see a guy with, I don't know, big angry dog and a big leather collar and all that, instantly I go, oh no, he's a bit of an idiot. He's trying to prove a point and he's not proving it.
yeah.
So I kind of get it. And I tell you what, as far as trying to meet people and go dating, get a dog.
Well, walking
Because
around.
everyone
like
comes
you
to
get
talk to
I
you.
go for early morning walks.
I've got 5 and I'm still single.
Well, when I go for my early morning walks and all the dog walkers are out, using my square as a dog toilet, there's one bloke that I see at about 7 o'clock in the morning. He's a gorgeous guy. He's in his 50s and he's got 2 little white fluffy Yorkies. And the first time I saw him, he went, "They're not mine."
Yeah.
But he was completely aware of the fact that the dog was not appropriate.
But that
to the bloke.
started and sparked that one sentence of conversation.
Yeah, but then if he went, "They're not mine," I'd think, "Oh, there's one."
Yeah, that's
But then
exactly
that
right.
would have been the secondary
But
question
Janet's
from you
top
if you've been
line, because I've
interested in
been
it.
with her, is always, would you like to stroke my badger?
Yeah, my
And that
badger.
gets because their dog's called Badger, so that's
Yeah,
what
but
she
you
says
don't
to
want to get
people
too
in the
close to my badger to
in
be
the-
perfect.
yeah. in the park.
The blokes I worry about are the Memphis sausage dogs.
Why?
They've got short legs. I just think they're not a very macho dog. And as for a bloke with a Labradoodle, they're not going to be into women anyway.
Well, what
A
dog?
Labradoodle is basically
What dog would make you fancy the man?
a Weimaraner, a
I like them.
Staffy. See, I think Staffy's a
Oh,
lovely dog.
Staffy's a lovely dog.
Staffy's are lovely. To me, it's just anybody that would have a well-behaved dog. I cannot bear,
Big poodle.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
that's got a dog.
Just got a
Yeah,
well-behaved,
I-
a
animals,
Animals,
well-behaved
they
dog.
think they love animals.
I
I couldn't
agree
be
with
with
that.
someone who's got a yappy dog. Oh my God, yap off.
I've got
I can't
two
be
yappy
doing
Denise,
dogs.
that.
you'll love this. Big man, small dog. This is all your dreams come true. I mean,
Oh my God.
Oh, he's
Look at that.
there.
Has he got 2 small
he's got
dogs?
Yeah,
2
yappy
small
ones.
dogs. Yep, yep.
Oh, they're Frenchies, aren't they?
How does
They
that
look
make
like
you feel,
Frenchies.
Denise?
Because he's so strong and big and gorgeous, but
He can be gentle.
But he's gentle.
Who is this person?
It's
Be
The
gentle
Rock,
with your
Dwayne
puppies.
Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
The one who was the W.
Yeah, not his actor,
No, not W.
producer,
Wheeled economic
WWE.
Sorry, darling.
WWA.
Look how
No
gently,
idea.
though, he holds those puppies.
Do
No, I don't.
Jungle Cruise. Come on.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness me. Yes.
Oh,
well,
this show.
I see Frank walks our little dog, and
Does
I
he?
love him walking our
Oh,
little
where?
dog. I
What
think
postcode is he walking the dog?
he's there. He is with our little
Yeah.
looking little Minnie, and he adores the dog, and I love him. And the fact
I
that he
love
does.
him.
I know you
And
do.
the dog.
And the dog. Yeah. After the break.
Baby love, my baby love. I need
Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick and wife Kate will be here to exclusively reveal the gender of their soon-to-be-born little baby and to talk about their real-life love, how it blossomed during their time in the Dales. Back with all of that after
you
this.
stay away so long, 'cause baby love, my baby love, been missing you, miss kissing you.
Hello again. In just a moment, Emmerdale's Michelle Hardwick and wife Kate will be here with some very exciting baby news. First, though, competition time again. It's your chance to win a prize package worth £114,000 for really good. Lines are closing this Friday at 3 p.m, so don't miss it. Do you want to read the next bit?
So here's Michelle Ackley with all the details.
Hello there from a very picturesque Yorkshire. Summer is here and I've got the details of a fantastic 2-part prize that you're not going to want to miss.
This week is the final week for your chance to win not only £60,000 in tax-free cash, but also this brand new Mercedes EQB.
It's automatic and it comes in a gorgeous metallic mountain grey colour. It's worth over £54,000. And it looks just as good on the inside too. And one family that are taking in everything that Whitby has to offer is the Halter family. Lovely to meet you all. Let me ask you, John, if you were to win £60,000, what would you do with the money?
I think I get a full tank of diesel.
Full good choice. Anything else? Holidays. Few holidays. It's got to be done, hasn't it? Fantastic stuff. Now, as we always say, there's got to be one guaranteed winner with this prize. That winner really could be you.
for another chance to win. Text WIN to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 1119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY27, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 12th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Now, like all great soap love stories, our guests' romance started with a chance meeting on the set of Emmerdale back in 2018. And since then, the two have certainly been busy with a marriage, baby, and another one on the way. Here to tell us all about their IVF journey, family life, and eloping to Graceland. Please welcome Michelle Hardwick and Kate Brooks. Woo!
Oh, did that quite fast then.
I know. We're very exhausted. It's so great to see you. Firstly, I have to ask you, how are you feeling? How are you doing?
Do you know what? All right, 23 weeks this week, isn't it? And it seems to have flown by, this one. The first 12 weeks this time round, yeah, it was quite a bit of morning sickness.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was very fun.
But
For all.
Did you suffer both times with morning sickness?
No, so with Teddy, it was just a little bit of the... Sorry for anyone's who's having the dinner, but just a bit of gipping rather than. And this time it was like,
yeah. Are you from North by any chance?
I'm not, yeah, gipping. Yeah, gipping. I always say gipping.
It's definitely a Leeds thing, I think.
We were just then, of course, meeting on the set of Emmerdale, you in front of the camera, and indeed you, Kate, behind it. So it must actually feel quite strange, I'm sure, from your perspective today, just sitting in the TV studio and being part of it.
Absolutely, it's so strange and it's just so out of my comfort zone. But it's because I'm like, that's Michelle, go on, you do all the talking. I'll just nod along and smile.
But how wonderful is that environment? I mean, you'll be grateful to Emmerdale for the rest of your days.
Yes. Always, absolutely, yeah, we really will. Yeah, because looking at where we are now, you know, we've been married nearly 3 years now. Like you say, we got married in Graceland.
Oh, I'm dying to know about that.
That is a way to do it.
Amazing.
Was
just
it?
the two of us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was the chapel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Elvis's like back garden.
It makes us look much cooler than we actually are.
Yeah, we're so
I'm like,
cool.
are we that couple?
How did your families react to the sort of... Was it actually an elopement, or did they know that you were going to do it just the two of you?
No, they knew because we sort of told them, because my dad's a massive Elvis fan, so I was a little bit scared about like telling him. But yeah, they were absolutely fine, weren't they? Because the day was just about us two.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And
we had a big party, didn't we? When we came back. We celebrated with all our friends and stuff. But yeah, it was just fun, and it's just the two of us, and it
just felt right, didn't it? Yeah. Went down the aisle to Can't Help Fall in Love with You.
Yeah.
And walked back to
Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock. Yeah. So that was Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah, that's why we look so happy.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely incredible. I think you've approached the children and family life in the most remarkable way, because I think the whole foundation is honesty and openness.
Yeah.
And certainly approaching the donor aspect of pregnancy, I think, is really, really interesting, actually. And you're always going to be very open and honest with children.
Absolutely.
How it has all come to be.
Yeah, because we were at the clinic, weren't we? And we didn't really know much about it. We'd done a little bit of research, but we wanted them to sort of inform us, really.
Yes.
And it was as simple as, oh, you know, what characteristics, colour, hair. We were like, oh, don't know really, as long as they're kind and, you know, a lovely person. But they sent through 2 like donor CVs, they're called.
Because you can't see a photo in this country.
No,
can you?
You can't go to America or Denmark.
It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah,
so how much did you want to know?
What they look like?
No, well, you weren't going to know how they looked like, but how much did you want to know about them?
Well, for us, it was really important that they were just very kind, quite intelligent, you know, just good family values as well. And I think the guy we chose had all those attributes, didn't he? And
he's the donor for both the children, so they biologically are.
I think that's
siblings.
That's brilliant as well.
Because a lot of people ask that and they go, "Oh, sorry, you know, dare we ask?" And we go, "Yeah, absolutely."
But you've never actually met him.
No. So as far as we're aware now, when like Teddy is 18. He can then be in touch, and it'll be absolutely up to the children. Whether
and the donor has said that he's open to that?
Absolutely.
That's great, you know, that you have that openness.
I just think it's one of the best versions of this story I've heard, honestly.
And as soon as Teddy gets of an age where he can understand, we will talk to him and kind of guide him through it. And whatever he wants to do, we fully support it.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some stories about donors that have fathered a lot of children.
Yes.
And there's one particular scandal in America at the moment
Yeah.
where it's turned out there are literally dozens of people fathered by the same thing. And I'm sure that in Britain our laws prevent that happening.
Absolutely do.
But you must have known about that.
Yeah, because you see that and you go, oh, crikey. But again, the clinic talked to us about that and they say, I think it's only around 5 families.
I think it's even less than that. I think it's 3
it could
from
be,
the clinic we went to.
But they're also not allowed to, it's within a 100-mile radius of where we live.
Right.
Yeah.
As well. So it's all vetted and really.
Was it always the thing that you were going to carry babies?
Yeah, we spoke about it a little bit, didn't we? And, I'm 46 now. So when we started with Teddy, my eggs weren't going to be amazing, really. And Kate was 37.
I was 37. So even for me, it was still a bit touch and go as to whether they'd get a lot of eggs and stuff. But luckily for us, I was pretty fertile.
You were very fertile. There was, I think, was it 35
You're
eggs?
46, are you?
Yeah.
Blimey.
46.
And are we going to hear what...
Well, I was just going to say, there is a big reveal happening. Baby number 2, you've got little Teddy.
Yes.
So tell us about baby number 2.
So baby number 2 is a little girl.
Yeah!
So we have a little sister.
Oh, my goodness.
Very exciting.
So
brilliant. Yeah. And it's so, because we didn't know with Teddy, did we? We found out, and I thought we thought the whole way through that Teddy was a little girl. Don't know why. We never had, the scan or anything.
I think I Googled something and got it wrong. And then
never Google.
Yeah, I know. It just did. Yeah. Sorry about that.
So, and then I imagined us with 2 boys, but then little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, how amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, career-wise, we've got the 50th anniversary of Emmerdale, which is unbelievable.
Which is so exciting. There's going to be a big, massive storm that rips through the village. All our characters will be in peril. And we're going to do a whole month, actually, of just celebrating all things.
We better get him.
I know that noise.
That's a familiar sound.
Teddy, familiar.
Sweet.
Is this your mum, Michelle?
My mum.
You're very welcome.
Teddy, stop stealing everything. Thunder.
Oh,
darling. Come on.
Hi, Teddy.
Teddy.
Should we give him this? Look what we've got you. This is for Teddy.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not just sought after loose women t-shirts.
And this is for the little one.
Are they actually a thing?
They are now.
Thank you so much.
And
Teddy's not impressed with that at all.
Oh, my darling.
He's been so good.
Oh, he's so
good.
Best of luck with everything. It's so great to see you, Kate. It's lovely to see you all. Bye-bye, sweetheart. It's all we've got time for today. We're going to be joined by diet and fitness guru Rosemary Connolly tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. See you soon. Bye-bye.